1, 2, 3, 4. So let me set the scene. It's 2 in the afternoon at 34 degrees. The Queensland harsh summer heat had me sweating buckets up and down my street. As there I spied the bloke, perched atop of his milk crate throne. He eyed me off as I approached, and then he said, "I'm on smoko, so leave me alone, I'm on smoko, so leave me alone, I'm on smoko, so leave me alone, I'm on smoko, so leave me alone." I'm on smoko, so leave me alone, I'm on smoko, so leave me alone, I'm on smoko, so leave me alone, I'm on smoko, so leave me alone. So it's Tuesday morning, and my Centrelink hasn't come through. So I pick up the phone because I've got some abusing to do. But all I get is elevator music, waiting on the line, on hold all the time. All I get is elevator music, waiting on the line, till I get a reply. I'm on smoko, so leave me alone, I'm on smoko, so leave me alone, I'm on smoko, so leave me alone, I'm on smoko, so leave me alone. Oh, what time is it? Is it smoko? I'm on smoko! So leave me alone, I'm on smoko! So leave me alone, I'm on smoko! So leave me alone, I'm on smoko! So leave me alone! I'm on smoko! I'm on smoko! So leave me alone, I'm on smoko! So leave me alone!
Paid $36 for a jug of beer, and there's nothing fucking special about being in here. 100% got nothing to say to you. Don't tell me I need directions instead of in a shoe. This place is going to the dogs, going to the dogs, going to the dogs. This place is going to the dogs, going to the dogs, going to the dogs. This place is going to the dogs. They're breathing greyhounds and they're like tobacco. Pulled over for a BT, now I'm pissing in a car. Let's take the biggest all and run it from a phone. Get on your knees and beg until they throw a phone. This place is going to the dogs, going to the dogs, going to the dogs. This place is going to the dogs, going to the dogs, going to the dogs. This place is going to the dogs, going to the dogs. But when the human race is finally gone and dead, the animals will make everything right again. This place is going to the dogs, going to the dogs, going to the dogs. This place is going to the dogs, going to the dogs, going to the dogs. This place is going to the dogs, going to the dogs.
Can't write an opening line to save my life in the way that it's going. The cracks, they start showing, and I sit impossibly unfit and lacking all the qualities you need out of me. You want a better life, you'll find nothing from me. You'll get a better guy
Good evening, good evening. You know what time of the week it is. It's time for Wednesday Cup, and we're back with another serving of the Audi TT VLN variation of these little cars. It's good to be back for another week. What's going on here? There we go. Momentary lapse of vision there, but it's good to be back for another week. There was a great showing last time around. What circuit were we at last week? I think we opened up at... should know this. It was only last week at Road America. This time around we are at the other side of the planet, just about over in sunny UK at Oulton Park. At 17 of the very best turns coming up on this circuit. So we follow Jim Park, has done a fair bit of mowing here so far. Call him Jim's Mowing for today. 2 minutes to the end of this first free practice session, and then we'll be kicking off a 10-minute qualifying session. Of which we will have the grid set to for the next two races. What's going on tonight? My brain is not screwed on. 2 races of 25 minutes each, the second of which being a top 10 reverse grid. So we're up for a fair bit of exciting racing to come. So we've got a minute to go, so we'll bring up something I've prepared earlier. We've got the standings here for after last week. We've got Alex McEwen out on top with a 7-point advantage over Ryan Kennedy, who I'm just looking to the left here, doesn't seem to be in the server yet. So that is disaster for Ryan Kennedy if he wants to keep up with Mr. Alex McEwen this time around. Lucas Keys, our new driver in Wednesday Cup, is sitting third, as he is on the timing tower as well. Only an official B's dick in between those top 3, as you can see, on the timing tower there. Reggie Righteous, after a bit of a disaster in the previous round in the second race, he sits there poised in 4th, and Arthur Liang makes up the top 5. So only 18 points separate the top 5. So anything can happen tonight if... considering this circuit's a little bit different than the one we did last week. It's a fairly tight circuit, bit technical. There's a couple of little chicanes and slow down areas. And from what I've been told, it's a little bit more bumpy than last week. So the suspension is certainly getting a workout. So we will clear that off. My name is Chris Munro. I am your commentator for this evening and every evening here on the AK Racing channel. Hope you are all enjoying the action so far. The V8 Supercars was on Sunday night, and that was one of the most cracking rounds of racing I think I've ever been involved in, commentating and or watching as a spectator. So absolutely good stuff here on the channel. And hopefully we can do a bit more of that tonight with these guys in the Wednesday Cup. We've got 18 cars out on track at the moment. So we're filling up the grid each and every week. If you do want to get involved in the racing, the Discord link is down the bottom left there. Type that into your Discord channel and or your Discord search engine, search bar, whatever it may be, and follow the path to AK Racing and come and get involved in some of the cracking door-to-door action that we've provided here. And some big news coming in the next couple of weeks too. If you're around the traps of AK Racing, there's going to be maybe a few more things on offer for the drivers to sink their teeth into. But as it stands, we've got Alex McEwen on top with a 38.4. He's just improved at the death there to put 2.5 tenths on Reggie Righteous with the 38.7. And then another tenth to Lucas Keys in third. Another couple of tenths behind is Luke Newing in fourth, and James Claypole a couple of tenths behind him. So let's see where the second mark is. So it takes about a second to get through the top 10 here. So we're going to have some tight battles on track. This not being the easiest circuit to pass on from memory. There'll be a couple of opportunities into, let's say, where are we? 1, 2, 3, into turn 5, which is called Shell Oil's Corner, funnily enough. So we're going to hopefully not see any oil out on the track tonight, and they can all make it around safely. Tell you what, last week was one of the best showings of racecraft and race etiquette I think I've ever seen as well. But we are very close to a start with qualifying. Actually, we are ready for qualifying right now as we see the charge of the Light Brigade. Look at them all these Audi TTs are rushing to get out of the pits here to get a hot lap on the board. With only 10 minutes to do so, track position and clean air in front of you is vital. Looks as if Reggie Righteous is our man, first man out on track, and Alex McEwen is chasing him down. He's going to give him a bit of the hurry up all the way around this first out lap. Nick Mole, Pierce, and Kaz are all behind them as well. We're going to go to a wide view here and see what sort of gaps these guys leave each other. Very important to get clear at track ahead of you in these short qualifying sessions, as it can get a bit busy out there. We do have 19 in the server now. Looking at the names, I still don't see Ryan Kennedy in the server. That is tragic for him. Hopefully he's okay wherever he is out there in the world, the real world. As I'm watching Alex McEwen's car, I did make a note to extend the suspension on these fixed setups that we're running tonight. Unfortunately, that did slip my mind until I just saw that car bottoming out up the hill. But it is what it is. Everyone's running the same setup, so they're all going to have to deal with the same issues. So we're going to ride on board with Reggie. See how he attacks this beautiful UK circuit into turn 1. Very important to get a late apex and a tight apex there, using up all that apron on the outside as you shoot your way down the hill into turn 2 and turn 3 here. Very important turn as well. Trying to maintain that momentum and slingshot yourself away down this Denton Straight, I believe, into the Cascade. It's pretty fast left-hander. And into this, where I think might be a few overtakes tonight, around this sort of banked NASCAR-style right-hand 180-degree turn. Very difficult to get it pulled up for that after that flat-out left-hander. And then through this little, this kink right-left, and then up the hill, over the hill, and down to another little chicane, as there's a bit of traffic up ahead here for Reggie, but I think he should be okay. You want to be getting as close as you can to these tyre bundles on the inside and not to hit them as well. And through this little kink as well, I'm pretty sure it's a flat-out section through there. Never lift. Hashtag never lift. Goodness me, I said hashtag. Anyway, around to the final part of the circuit here into Sector 3, and Reggie taking a really tight line around there. That can be used as a bit of a double apex as well. Through the bumpy part of this back straight and into the final braking zone of the lap. Gets it turned in very nicely. This looks like a very tidy lap from Reggie. And he'll be flat out to the line. We're going to see what the time to chase is, a 38.5, and a pretty much identical time from Alex McEwen behind as well. Nick Moles sets a... No, Jackson is... Oh, look at them all swapping for positions here. Luke Newing has set a 139.2, and Claypole right behind him on a 139.4. So... after that first round, we've got a few cars down the bottom that did not set a lap yet, so maybe using the track limits a bit too liberally. As we know in this game, if you do go too far outside the lines, the game will invalidate your lap automatically. So back to the start, back to the drawing board as Mr. Keys gets up to fourth with a 39.3. So 38.5 is absolutely smoking on the first hot lap here. I think in practice was it a 38.4 was the fastest, so they're right on it at the moment. Luke Newing is coming through the second sector as we speak, coming down the hill into this little chicane. Oh, and there's a car parked into the wall there. That looked like Coates. It was Coates. Just make sure he gets back out onto the track safely. Luke Newing coming around into this technical part of the circuit here. It's really hard to judge these two turns, whether you want to... The track invites you to come into that first right-hander as fast as you can, but then halfway through you quickly realise that you need to be going a little bit slower, otherwise you're going to miss the apex of that second half of the turn. Luke Newing now coming across the line with a 39.4, does not improve. McFadden now, Jason McFadden in the number 50. One of the guys to watch out for. I've said this last week. Once he gets his head around these cars, he'll be one to watch on the timing tower. He was very competent in the Toyota 86s that we did a couple of seasons ago, and I believe we saw him in the Caterhams last season. If I'm correct about that. But seldom am I correct about many things, so we'll just see about what happens with that. We've lost a car in the server. We're down to 18 again. Not sure who we lost, but we'll find out once the qualifying session ends. Let's see what it looks like in the car of Jason McFadden, or on the top actually. That's it's a better way to do it. A 39.8 was his last time around and did not improve on his best of a 39.6. So coming into this turn here, hug the inside, maybe double apex. There's a couple of ways of doing it, and I'm sure tonight we're going to see all the perspective ways of doing it. Claypool has popped his entry up onto the second row here, and with a 39.0, that's pretty good. That's pretty quick. And Arthur Liang nipping at his heels with a 39.1. One of the guys that was quickest in the... Whoa, Jason McFadden has outbraked himself, and that is it for that lap. He's going to have to watch in his mirrors there and try not to impede anyone coming up behind. Looks like he's okay for now. We're going to check in on Keys, who is off the track. I think he might be starting to feel the pressure. Sitting at 6th, he was right up there in practice. So one thing is, going from practice to qualifying, the pressure does start to mount. As Alex McEwen has actually improved to a 38.3. That's the best we've seen on track tonight. Our championship leader flying at the moment. Reggie happy on the front row. He's just come into the pit. Whether he's got enough time to get around after a refill with a bit of fuel and pop on some new boots, as that's Coates off the track again. He's just going to have to be careful if he's coming out in front of traffic. He does the right thing there. But Keys will be sweating now. Looking at the clock, he's got a minute and 48, so this will probably be his second last lap. If he can make it all happen here, get that banker in, and then look to push in that last lap he will get as a 38 goes. So this is definitely his last lap. Oh, second last lap, sorry. Do we have no sound? Okay. I will just fix that for everyone. Bear with me. That might fix it. There we go. We've got some engine sounds for everyone at home. Sorry about that. And Chris Pinkney joins us from his workplace. Shout out to his employers there. That might have been a little bit too wide there from Lucas Keys. I wonder if he will abort this lap or whether that was a track cut indeed. We will not know. It seems like he's pushing on with the lap as it is, so he might have just got onto the edge of that and on the right side of that edge. Luke Newing going off the track, and that will be his qualifying session done for now. Arthur Liang, how is he looking? 39.9. So he's about 8/10 off his personal best, so this is probably going to be his final lap. You might see him report it to the pits, but here comes James Claypool over the line for the last time. He does not improve, so that... Oh no, he's got one more lap in, so this will be his final lap. Might ride on board with James Claypole and see. It's a nice angle. Give you a sense of the speed these cars do. Excuse me. So we listen to the engine there. It seems. Oh, that's going to hurt. Oh, ouch. He's ended up on his roof, and that'll be the end of that for him. Arthur Liang. Let's see if he can navigate the same corner with a bit more poise. He does. Making his way down the back end of the backside of the course. The backside of the course. Good words, Christopher. Anyway, Arthur Liang now coming down into the little chicane here. Gets a nice wide line through here. Looking pretty good so far for Arthur Liang. He's one of the only ones out on track. Oh, McEwen has just improved to a 38 dead. Good luck everyone catching that. That is half a second now in front of the field. He's just Verstappened everyone, has Alex McEwen. Oh my God. So good luck and everyone catching him in the race. He's looks like he's cherry ripe for this event tonight. Arthur Liang, last man out on track apart from Matt Belton, but it looks like he is off the track somewhere as well. Is he going to improve on a 31.9? He's pushing right to the line. We may see an improvement. We may not. Ooh, a 39.9. So no improvement there. Matt Belton is in the pit, so that is the end of qualifying. Our pole sitter, number 50. No, it's number 76, but there are two cars inside of each other thanks to the way these pit boxes are set up. He is in the Kodak livery. An avid photographer, so I'm told. With a massive selfie collection as well. So if you're in the chat, ask him for a couple of selfies. I'm sure he would oblige. Can talk shit. That is me. That's the end of the qualifying session. Let's go and have a look at the actual results. Alex McEwen on a 38 flat. Wow, that is fast. Reggie Righteous on a 38.5. Lucas Keys did manage to get onto the second row with a 38.8. That must have come late. James Claypole as well joins him with a 39 flat. Liang and Newing on the next row, only separated by a tenth to each other, a tenth and a half. Jackson and McFadden as well. Everyone's very close. I think we're going to see some tight battling here, and due to the way the circuit is, it's going to be very spicy. The first race, not so much, because everyone's sort of ranked by their pace. The second race with the top 10 reverse grid, anyone's game there. Anyone can win that. I've seen everyone opting for the soft tyre in qualifying, except for me, but that's all right because I'm not racing. It'll be interesting to see what tyre choice they go to for the race. I believe the medium's probably the way to go, but I will probably be proven wrong in that one. Anyway. 29 seconds till we get cars on the grid. I'm looking forward to this one. If anyone can catch Alex McEwen, put your hand up and do it. You probably only get a few corners to get that job done before he runs away with it, based on that qualifying pace anyway. Good luck to everyone out there. So we've got 6 seconds now till we get some cars on the grid. Can't change tyre compound. Oh, right, of course, I set the qualifying to softs only. I think in the race you may get a choice. But here we are. We got cars on the grid now. We're going to try and get ourselves a nice view of it all. Maybe that one. Maybe. It's a nice view as well. A few Audi bums looking up the hill. We've got 2 minutes to blast off here. It's got to be a better camera angle to start this race on. Oh my goodness, it's going to have to be this one. But we'll come back to it when the time is right. I might just fly around to the start, get a nice little shot for the socials there. Everyone can screenshot that, send it to your mum. So look at how many cars are on the grid tonight, mum. Wednesday Cup Daddy says hello. 18 cars on the grid. If we look at the second half of the grid, we've got Stephen Marsden, Brandon Pearce, Ollie Longley, Matt Belton, Mark Trenery, Jim Park, Angus Wells, Philippe Coates in his first time out. I believe he was in the server for the first round, but had other things happen. I believe he had a snake in the house. Was that you? He had a brown snake in the house. So that, of all the excuses I've ever heard of people not turning up to a race, that is one of them. Possibly the best one as well. Oh my God, a brown snake. But you get that here in Australia. I'm not saying it's ridiculous. I have had a snake in the house myself. Actually had a tawny frogmouth in the house not too long ago. And had a hard time trying to get it back out the window. 40 seconds now to a start. So we're going to get rid of that. Got some cars flashing their lights. Who's that there off the second row? That is, I believe that's Reggie. Saying g'day with the flashing of the lights. G'day, Reggie. Good luck to all the drivers now. We've got 20 seconds to go. We're going to get some lights up and we're going to be ready for a race start here for round 2 of the Wednesday Cup. Who's going to take the whole shot? Ladies and gentlemen at home watching, who's going to take out the win for this race one? All of these questions will be answered very shortly. So we're off to a start, and it looks as if it's a very clean start, but Reggie's got a gun start around the outside here, and he might just hang it around the outside. Been pushed off the track a little bit, but Reggie is going to take the fight to Alex McEwen going down the hill. He's going to have the inside line, and he will have the first crack at this. Alex trying to just shove it in around the outside, but it's not going to happen. There's contact between him and Keys. Keys looking up the inside, but he thinks better of it and sneaks back in behind him. Looking back through the field, Liang, Claypole, Jason McFadden as well, looking at about the 8th position mark with Luke Newing in front of him. We're going to go back to the front, and it looks like Reggie has just stretched that out to about half a second. Too wide here with Keys, and Liang has made his way up to 3rd place. That's a great start for Arthur Liang. Down the field, it looks like Coates has had a bit of a buster there, and he's off the field. Jackson, that's a big stack. Look at him go. He's absolutely gone, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be his race one over. Keys and Liang are going to battle this out into the... Oh, look at that. Keys gets the job done into the first half of that chicane. Easy as you like, really. Liang didn't put much of a fight in. And Guy Duff is in the chat, Reggie's biggest fan. As we see the battle for the lead is on. McEwen's got the good run here, and he's got the track position. So can Reggie just hang on around the outside? There's a little bit of contact. But that is the lead back for Alex McEwen was patient with it, left it until the last sector to make that happen. Newing and Claypole are side by side, but it looks like Newing's going to be the first one to have a crack into that final turn. Claypole not letting him go. We're going to ride on board here and see if he can return serve at some point around this track. There's Mole looks like he's off the track, or he's getting passed by Stephen Marsden back further. There's a puff of dust up ahead. There's cars off. I don't know if it's going to be serious or anything, but McFadden is right behind Claypole as well. So we're going to ride on with McFadden at the moment. He's got 3 cars in front of him, all separated only by a few tenths. And gets right to the edge of the track. Whew. And we stop to take a breath because the race starts and these cars are absolutely hectic. And it looks like for now it's all settled down. Mole is having a shocker. He's getting pushed back a bit. No, it's just the timing tower doing weird things. That is Risky Pierce. He is off the track. And that is Coates as well. He was balked by seeing Pierce just sort of sitting in the middle of the track there, and he has come a buster again. Look at this. There's cars going too wide as well. That's Claypole, McFadden. Kaz is further back, so McFadden at the back of this little battle pack here of 4 cars, that being Liang, Newing, Claypole and McFadden. McFadden actually got a pretty good run there. He might even... No, he thinks better of it. There's he's got no business going up the inside there. Yep. Hold your position, Mr. Wells. Angus Wells doing a brilliant job there up in 12th position. That's one of the best race starts he's had since last week. We'll see if we can hang on. I think he had a pretty good start last week as well, but couldn't maintain the consistency and ended up coming guts somewhere. And here is all the whoa, look at that, all the invitation that McFadden needed, and he will get that job done on Mr. Claypole well before the turn. So James Claypole's gonna have to just get his head back on and try and make a lunge here, maybe into turn 5. He's not going to be able to do it. He's not as close as he thought he was. And that gap is now up to 6/10. Just keeping an eye on all the gaps up and down the field. There's something going on with Reggie and Keys up in front, but these guys are still the closest on track, McFadden and Claypole. So Claypole just looking for maybe a little mistake from any of these drivers up ahead. There's a bit of a gap now between Newing and McFadden. That has stretched to a second. Going to just flick over to Keys here because he's right up behind Reggie. Only a few tenths in it. And as we saw last week, the suck, the slipstream, the draft is all very strong in these cars because we have a fixed setup across the board here. They're all using the same aero kit, which is the high downforce aero kit, which is very conducive to a bit of suck. But speaking of which, Luke Newing has gained a very big advantage down the back straight there, and he's only 3/10 behind Arthur Liang at the moment. There seems to be a couple of little battle packs forming, this being one of them. There's 3 cars now, Newing, Liang. There's a little gap to McFadden, and Claypole right on his behind as well. Actually, there was a little bit of a mistake there from McFadden, I think. Can see dust getting flicked up here and there. Keys again, just putting himself in the mirrors of Reggie Righteous in front, who is only 1.3 seconds behind Alex McEwen. But I tell you what, he needs to start making a bit of headway now because the longer the race goes on, Alex McEwen is very good at looking after his tyres. He will probably just extend that advantage. Nothing too much Keys can do about it at the moment, with these guys in front being pretty evenly paced. And McEwen is just slowly turning the screws out in front, just a little tenth here and there, making it very hard for these guys to follow in behind. We'll go down to Trenery now because he's made his way up behind. Well, he can see Ollie Longley in front of him. He's just trying to make a bit of headway up behind. Tell you what, the gaps are a bit bigger than they were last week. Might have been a bit more practice maybe done up and down the field this time. Everyone's sort of found their pace. But Matt Belton is definitely up behind Angus Wells, and we're going to get a front row ticket to this little battle at the moment. Matt Belton just showing his nose there into the, where are we? The final braking section, not the final turn, but there's a mistake from Angus Wells, and that will be the position for Matt Belton. Angus Wells tried to run him a little bit wide there, bit cheeky, and can we get a decent camera angle? Oh, rightio. The boys are definitely playing a bit of aggressive ping pong here at the moment. Matt Belton finds himself back behind Angus Wells. Wells might need a bit of a talking to from the stewards here. There's a... Oh no, Matt Belton has found himself off the track. Can he... Oh, he does. He saved it from a certain disaster if he hits that wall. Yeah, a bit of a questionable stuff going on there from Angus Wells. So we'll keep an eye on that if there's any more battles ahead. Let's see what the stewards have to say to him after the race. There might be a little meeting up in the stewards' room. Keys now has Reggie still only about half a second in front. Last lap, he was 4/10 quicker, so he made up a bit of ground. Reggie going really wide there on the exit of turn 1. And as you can see, McEwen has stretched that gap out to 2.6 seconds now. Very hard for everyone, very hard for these two to stay on the back, especially if Keys makes up sort of a couple more tenths, and that's going to put Reggie maybe under a bit of pressure. And once you start to see a car in your mirrors, that's when your lap times usually start to go down a little bit. Not to mention if you actually start battling. If you do, once the cars start battling, then you know that they're in for a bit of a treat. Longley, Trenery now up behind Longley. Only a few tenths in it before that little section, and now that's sort of come out to Arthur Liang is gone back to the pits and has DNF'd for the night. I think that might have been maybe a big crash. Interesting. Mark Trenery right on the back of Ollie Longley at the moment. Longley's going to have to maybe look into going defensive, but he's got to ask himself the question: can he stay defensive for 15 more minutes? Basically, it's a tall order, and all these. Oh, hello, Keys is right up behind Reggie as well. But we'll keep an eye on that gap. If it gets any lower, we might have to switch over. But they're both very close here at the moment. Trenery, and it looks like, Ollie going really wide there as well. I'm going to just switch over here because they're coming into this braking zone, and Keys might think about a little bit of a send. He definitely makes up a bit of ground under brakes. Reggie Righteous keeping him at bay for now. But I tell you what, he has got an absolute mirror full of this number 45 behind him. Oh, both taking a bit of the grassy route. You see a bit of dust kicking up for everyone. Belton's made up about 3 seconds on Wells, so we're going to tune into... Well, both of them with a big slide there. That was interesting. A bit of oil on the track, perhaps. And the biggest winner from all this is obviously Alex McEwen out in front, rubbing his hands together, saying, yep, you guys can battle all you like, but that's going to just extend my lead. But look at this from Keys. He's really Let's try and get on the inside. Here we go. Filling up the mirrors as well. Getting on the inside and definitely letting Reggie know he's there. Reggie won't be too perturbed because these guys are some of the best drivers in the country. We'll give you that. I say it every time. But if you want to beat these guys, you're really going to have to be on your game. Reggie hits the apex nicely. Gets a good late apex too. So that'll give him an advantage down the hill here. As you can see, he's just pulled away there. Maybe takes the preferred line through this one as well. Belton is catching quick, so it is back on with these two. We're going to see if there's any more funny business from Angus Wells. Right on top, if I can do that. That gives us a pretty good view of what's going on. Whoa! Play on. Matt Belton was there in the overlap. Angus Wells looked like he turned across the nose of Belton there, so that's all good and play on. Wells didn't get turned around, so he just he lives to fight another day. Looking up and down the screen here. Longley, Trenery. Might be a bit of a battle happening here soon. Gap's down to 0.6, 0.5, 0.4. So Ollie definitely getting a pretty good run here on Kaz in front. We say it all the time. It's one thing to catch up. And actually, we've missed the overtake here. Keys is in front of Reggie. He's made his way up into second position. Typical commentator. Missed it at the spicy end of the battle. Thank you very much. Belton now off the track. Oh, he's had an incident with, that must be Jimmy Park. Oh, dear. And Park redressing, so it looks like a bit of clumsiness back in the field. That's okay. We're all human, and we're not professional drivers. Remember, so it's a bit harder to keep things tidy. In saying that, last week was one of the tidiest weeks we've seen in the Wednesday Cup forever. Everyone being super respectful. Maybe just the way the track is at the moment. Bit hard to pass. Patience is a virtue. Wells losing 2 seconds to Jackson there straight away. So back to Longley. There's a bit of a queue starting to form behind Kaz. With Trenery, we're going to just get on top and just get involved in this little three-way battle here. Looks like Longley going up the inside. Oh, there's contact. Oh, but look at that. It's play on everyone. He's saved it. Kaz has saved it. Kaz doesn't look too happy about it. He's going to definitely send it up the inside here, I've got a feeling. Wait for it. There it is. Ollie's going to try and hang it around the outside. There's a bit of contact as well, and more contact. Oh, come on, guys. Yeah, let's try and keep it respectful out there on the track. Bit of contact's fine, but there's no need to retaliate with more, as the chances are that one, if not both, will have the end of race signal come up on their on their game. Too much damage. But here, Ollie looks around the outside of Mark Trenery. Mark Trenery just trying to take advantage of all this battling, but just the pressure got too much for him there and has run wide. And it's back to these two battling in pretty much the same order they were before. Oh, Ollie and Kaz. Longley and Kaz coming down into the chicane. Longley just got a bit of an overlap, but he thinks better of it this time. Oh, and he's balked Kaz out of his own line and is outbraked himself into the thing, and that is Kaz back to the 9th position there, and Trenery will say thank you very much for the rabbits. Up ahead, McFadden and Claypole are battling it out. You see Reggie was a full second slower than Keys there in that final time around. Not ideal for Reggie. He's obviously in his username, he's got the Gold Cup as a sign that he was the season winner from last time around here in the Wednesday Cup. It's one of the things afforded to you as a champion here in AK Racing Wednesday Cup. The other is reveling in the pride and the myriad of sexual options that it opens you up to. We have fun here. We have fun. McFadden just losing a bit of touch with Claypole in front. He's lost about half a second there in the space of a few corners. 7 minutes to go now in race 1 for this evening. Tell you what, these 25-minute races go pretty quickly when there's stuff to look at. It's surprising. Last season we had, I think, 15 minutes was the shortest race and 17 minutes was the longest. And they felt long sometimes as well. I guess the cars were slower. But no, these Audi TTs have definitely brought a fair bit of action. And look at these two are battling again. I dare say that we might see a little bit more contact. How did this happen? These two have been joined at the hip a few times here, literally. We're right on board with Angus. Actually, we're going to do something that I don't like doing, but we're going to go and sit in the car, sort of POV style. Doesn't actually have a GoPro strapped to his chin. But, Belton, he's come off the track, and Wells is going to take advantage, actually. They're going to go too wide. Oh, Wells just cuts his nose off there. Wells needs to... Wells, if you're listening, please use your car radar. Please don't cut off noses like that. You're only going to end up turned around one day. Enough about that. McFadden still in touch with Claypole, but not quite where he would like to be. Probably a little bit further closer up to the back, up to the rear wing. What am I talking about? Little mistake from Claypole there, and McFadden's gained a couple of tenths. Wells and Belton still battling it out. There's a couple of tenths in it here, but this is spicy, so we're going to just see how these two attack it. I feel there's more... Yeah, there's more contact. Both of these cars looking like a chewed up sausage roll at the moment. Fair bit of damage on both. As you can see, the front bloody... whatever that thing's called. The bonnet, it's flapping around here on Belton's car. Closest battle out on track at the moment, but Wells goes very deep into that, and that's going to be pretty much his exit compromised. Stick to the straight line, fellas. Don't be doing that. More contact. So we're going to put up a poll in the chat if you're watching, if anyone's watching. On a scale of 1 to Sinead O'Connor in that film clip, how many tears are going to be shed between these two guys in the next 4 minutes? I've got a feeling it's all going to come to a head and both are going to end up pointing the wrong way with the way they're racing at the moment. Just my opinion. I'm just a commentator. A big dive from Belton. Oh, Angus leaves him no room on the inside and regains that position. Both of these fellas getting a bit hot under the collar, I believe. Newing has made his way up behind Reggie as well. So Reggie's having a bit of a shocker going backwards at the moment. Maybe the tyre choice. I guess they're all on the softs at the moment, so they're all doing the same thing. But Reggie might have just sort of shagged his tyres in this first stint, I guess, the first half of this race, trying to stay in touch with Alex McEwen. Luke Newing now eyeing off a potential podium. Just waiting for Reggie to make one mistake to just eke out a couple more tenths to that lead that he has at the moment. Angus Wells up behind Belton still. Oh, excuse me. Two minutes 30 to go. I guess that's... We'll just check out where Alex McEwen is. He's actually coming up behind Luke Newing, is he? It's hard to tell. But Newing is all over the back of Reggie anyway. So we'll figure all that out soon enough as they come around. I guess this will be the... Oh, it depends how long it'll take them to get to the line. If they cross the line before a minute 39, which I don't think they will, this could be the second last lap. So, 3 tenths in it between these two. This is the battle for the podium. Luke Newing very close behind Reggie. I think he's biding his time here and might have to use a bit of the suck down the 2 or 3 smaller straights that are in this circuit. Luke Newing, maybe he's got a bit of an overlap here. He looks, he just ducks back in. Reggie goes very wide. He'd be up to close to the end of his cut warnings, and that he's got a definite problem because he just let Newing to go past like it was nothing. Sorry to say, Guy Duff, but your boyfriend is struggling at the moment. I think he might still be licking his wounds after the Warriors had such a poor showing on the weekend. But anyway, Luke Newing has made his way up onto the podium, and he'd be pretty happy with that. He's certainly one of the quicker drivers here in AK Racing. Put him in qualifying trim, and he is as quick as anyone. Put a bit of race fuel in and race tyres. And sometimes he has a bit of a struggle with consistency. But as we say, practice is perfect. The more races you have, the better you get at it. And he's proving that point right now. Are we crossing the line yet? No, we're in the third sector. This will be the last lap, I think. Where is Alex McEwen? He might even slow down just to make sure this is the last lap. Or he will... No, he's going to forge on with 3 seconds to go. So this is the final lap. Alex McEwen out in front by 6 and a bit seconds. As Jimmy Park comes out of the pits there after fixing a bit of damage, I believe. Give the man a chance. Up the wires, says Guy Duff. Keep that saying in your bag until next year. Because I've been told next year is your year. And Matt Belton there taking a different line into that fast kink and finding himself, I think, making a little bit of contact with the outside wall there. Not ideal. Can anyone stop this man tonight? In a 25-minute race, he's found himself 5.8 seconds in front. Never even looked like being headed, to be fair. Reggie got off to a great start in this race and led for about 3/4 of a lap. But Alex just bided his time, sat in behind, didn't get too impatient, and just waited. And... thankfully for Alex, thankfully for him, that opportunity presented itself fairly quickly around 3/4 way around that first lap. And ever since he got to the lead, he never looked like being headed at all. And he has just done nothing wrong in this race as Alex McEwen crosses the line for the win in race 1 here tonight at Oulton Park. What a great drive there from Alex from pole to finish. And Lucas Keys crosses the line, gives himself a bit of a wall ride on the way through for second position. Great showing there from Mr. Keys. Luke Newing gets his first podium of the season, I believe. Many more where that came from, if you can put it all together. Reggie Righteous crossing the line in 4th and jumping back to pits straight away. I don't think he's very happy with that drive tonight. Had a few issues late with pace. Mick Fadden for a top 5. Great drive from him. He started down the order too. Claypole in the Gulf Air 115 machine. Crosses the line in 6th. Ollie Longley, pretty good showing there in 8th. Mark Trenery, Kaz and Pierce round out your top 10. 11th is Angus Wells with one of the best starts of his season. Has somehow got in front of Belton. I think that was because of that incident we saw on the last lap. As he was getting lapped by Alex McEwen, he sort of just binned it on his own. Nick Mole doing reverse doughies in the pits, I think. No, that's number 57. That is Arthur Liang. He's figured out that reverse doughies are the key to fun, not only in the sim, but in the real world too. Elijah Jackson doing the same in 14th place. Jimmy Park. Yeah, you're not wrong, BZ. There was that battle between Belton and Wells. Gee whiz. Fair bit of mongrel in that. Arthur Liang, Coates and Marsden was a DNF, so I don't know what happened to him. He must have DNF'd early in the race. Who knows? We'll find out from him. Shortly. But we will return shortly with race 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with race 2. Minute and 20 seconds to go to the race start. We've got a reverse top 10 grid here to start with. Oh my God. Marsden and I think Marsden's the only one not to make it back into the race, so maybe he's having some difficulties there getting back in. But Brandon Pearce and Luke Cass are off the front row this time. Trenery and Longley off the second row. Claypole and McFadden off the third. Righteous has a bit of a leg up on his compatriots here with Luke Newing, Keys and Alex McEwen all starting behind him. Got 25 minutes to get all this, get all these reversed grids positions into the right spot. Oh, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say is you don't have to go balls to the wall on the first lap. Please let's not see an absolute chaotic situation where we've got cars turned around everywhere. I'm sure the guys are well versed in these reverse grid races by now, I'm sure. We've had a fair few of them over the 8 seasons of Wednesday Cup we've had. But that remains to be seen until we get to the finish line. 10 seconds to go till start. The lights are up and we are poised for a start in a race 2 here with a top 10 reverse grid. And it's a pretty good start from the outside there. It looks like Pearce has got the whole shot and he will lead into turn 1 with Kaz Trenery, Longley, and there's a bit of pushing and shoving here. That's Claypole getting pushed off the track. Behind him is McFadden, and Righteous has made his way up a few spots. We're going to ride on board with Reggie and see what he does here. Makes his way up the inside of McFadden, and that will maybe be the position there. I can't see if he's got anyone on his outside. He leaves the space, so maybe there is. Back here further in the field, Luke Newing and McEwen going side by side with Keys as well, tucking in next to these guys. Keys, well, he might have the box seat here. He's got McEwen on his outside, and McEwen's left the door open. McKee's going to try and fill it. He's got the inside run down this really kind of banked turn. He's got a great exit too, so he's eyeing up Luke Newing in front. Whoa, Newing just pressing him right to the side of the track. Looks like McEwen has had to duck in behind Keys as well. Righteous, meanwhile, has made his way up to 6th and is looking at James Claypole. Back to the front of the field, Ollie Longley giving Pearce a fair bit of a push along here as well. Hurry up, mate. It is all happening, and there's just less than a second between every car on the track right now. Very hard to know where to look. We're going to keep an eye on Reggie Righteous and jump on board his car on the top and see if he can sort of make some headway here whilst the guys behind, Keys and McEwen, are back in 9th and 10th still. There's a run here for Claypole, and there's a run for Reggie if he wants to slot it up in between. He doesn't. He just holds his line. Oh, very good racing there on the outside. That is Trenery just holding his line very nicely. And bloody Claypole's gone off down the road there. Righteous does not have the pace just to keep up there with Trenery, but he's going to try and get him under brakes into turn 1. Not enough there either, so he's going to back to the drawing board and watch Claypole just sort of walk away down the line there. Belton and Jackson battling it out down into the downhill section. Whoa, Jackson's throwing it back up the inside. Well done. Belton saw it coming. Trenery off the track, so he's lost a fair few positions in that little mistake. Nick Mole has got a drive through. I think must have jumped the start. McFadden, though, is in the box seat with Reggie in front, and there's a fair battle going on behind, so we're going to jump on board with McEwen, and he's going to make up an easy position here with Newing. Oh, Newing just sort of faked to block. McEwen sort of anticipated it, but didn't really need to in the end. Claypole making a move on Risky Pearce. Gets it done into the chicane. That's a great move there from James Claypole, and he's going to get himself up on the podium for now. Reggie up into 5th. McEwen just stuck in 9th at the moment, watching his compatriots from the first race just sort of walk away down the up the order. He's got Newing in front of him, and I'll tell you what, Newing's really making it hard for Alex to get past. You might see a bit of a defensive run here from Newing. He sort of half did it. He's on the brakes late. Newing very good under brakes, it looks like. But this might be the end for him in that position. with McEwen up alongside him now. He will have the optimal line for turn one. They're both going side by side. Oh, still side by side. We can get a little bit of a backwards look here. That'll do. McEwen takes the lead of that battle, mind you. Newings just slots in behind. Reggie now made his way up to fourth. He's gotten around Pierce and he's got Claypole right in front of him. Claypole going defensive, just at least indicating to Reggie that he might go defensive into this hairpin. And takes the inside line. There's a car on the outside. That's Pierce, and he's getting passed by Keys. So look at that. Keys is all the way up to fifth already, with McEwen stuck down in eighth. Still a lot of time to go in this race, so don't count out any of these faster guys yet. As we saw, Alex in clear air was 5 seconds ahead of them anyway, so he's probably got a few seconds up his sleeve he can afford to give away at the start of this race. And once he does get a bit of clear air, you expect him to make up some room anyway. As McEwen and McFadden are battling it out here going up the hill, but McEwen has got the line, and Newing, oh wow, that's close. He's stuck right into the slipstream. McFadden on the outside. Newing thinking better of it. There's no room for him up the inside there. That's not going to happen this time. Claypole and Righteous and Keys all battling it out too up ahead. So we're going to switch over to them to have a quick look at what's going on. Nose to tail, Lucas Keys right up behind Reggie. And these guys were battling it out. Reggie's going to go defensive at the start of this race. That's an interesting move from Reg. He doesn't want to lose track position at the moment. Takes up a track cut out there. You only get 5 of them in the race. Claypole, side by side with Longley. Longley has the inside, and he won't just give that up either. But look at who it is there. Reggie has got the run on both of these guys at the moment. But tell you what, there's really nowhere to go. It's a tight circuit. It's a narrow circuit. You can only get maybe 2 cars wide, and when there's 2 guys battling in front of you, Keys looking around the outside. I just saw him in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen. He's all over the back of Reggie right now. And I tell you what, Kaz has got a 2.1 second lead over Longley, who is battling with Claypole, who is battling with Righteous, who is battling with Keys, who will be battling with Pierce and McEwen soon enough. McEwen looking at Pierce, and he can see just in the distance there, he can see Keys, Reggie, and Claypole all there locked in a pretty much human centipede style train action. Drive through for Philippe Coates cutting, so he's going to have to make a little trip through the pit lane. McEwen makes his way up into 6th, so he will join on the back of this Caterpillar soon. Looking back down the field, so we've lost another driver. We're down to 17 now. Look at these guys up ahead. We are in the box seat to enjoy this battle. I might actually go and watch them. I'm going to focus on the middle car. That is Reggie Righteous. He's got Claypole in front. He's got Lucas Keys behind. It's going to be interesting what they do. These guys all very experienced. All very experienced racers, so I suspect some great battling, some great passing attempts, maybe some little some little over and unders, switchbacks. I want to see it all, ladies and gentlemen, as I'm sure you do as well. Reggie now right up behind him. He's going to make the move. Oh, Claypole gives him room, and that's enough room for Reggie to have the momentum up the inside, and I think that might be... Whoa, they're still side by side, so Claypole's going to have the inside line for this. Whoa, no, there's contact. Oh, look at this, and Keys is going to take advantage. He's around the outside, and Keys is up into 3rd position, ladies and gentlemen. What a move there from Keys. Saw it all happening and made the most of that. And he's done it. He's up into 3rd with Alex McEwen now all over the back of Reggie as well. Reggie's proving to be a bit of a cork in the bottle at the moment. Holy moly. And now looking back at the field here, Jackson up behind Newing, McFadden and Pierce, who are all very close as well. McFadden and Pierce swapping. Oh, there's a car off. Who was that? That's Pierce. He's in the middle of the track. He needs to probably get moving there. Yep, that's good. Whoa. Whew. Gee whiz. Anything could happen there. Newing up the inside of McFadden, but McFadden not giving it up without a fight. He's going to just drop it around the outside there, and he's got the advantage of better momentum off that turn. Is there enough overlap? There's a very slight bit of overlap. I don't know if Newing's going to just shove it up the inside anyway. Does so. McFadden saw him coming, does the right thing, but look up here. We got cars too wide. That is Keys, Righteous, McEwen. Number 16 as well. Kaz is right there. Okay, it's all happening. There's less than a second covering nearly the top 5 at the moment. Oh, a bit of contact with McEwen and Keys. We're going to see from McEwen's POV. McEwen now, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. There's a move there. That is, that's Kaz and Righteous. Reggie getting a bit too overzealous under brakes there. He's forced Kaz off. McEwen and Keys swapping positions. We're going to have to go to the wide view. They're too wide now. That this could be anything. There's 2 rows of 2. The elephant's marching on. It's too hard to look. Kaz and Righteous is in behind McEwen. Keys, they're all there. I'm just going to let the vision do the speaking at the moment because it's very hard to commentate on these cars going everywhere. That's, oh my God, that's Claypole. He's come across the track, almost taken out. He has taken out Reggie. Oh, that is disaster for Reggie Righteous and Claypole, who just lost control of his car at the very last second. A bit of compression lock at the back and spins around, goes straight through the turn, and has played a bit of 10-pin bowling, and that is a strike in the olden days. 10 points for you, sir. Longley and Keys is in the hot spot here to take this win. 14 minutes to go, though, and McEwen and Newing are still there. Not too far behind. Where did Jackson come from? So in all that, Jackson's made his way up to 4th. Kaz is still holding on to a podium position. There's a car off. I don't know who that is. Oh, that's whoever it is in the wall. That's Luke Newing. Unfortunate there from Newing. But that's a free spot for those guys behind McFadden Righteous back up to 7th. Gee whiz. McEwen now. He's got a couple of cars in front, Jackson and Kaz. He can just see Lucas Keys off in the distance, and that's maybe about a 3-second gap to him. And there's a car off. That is Kaz. He's just made it back onto the track safely. Oh, Guy Duff says, what happened to Marsden? I'm not sure. You might have to DM him and let me know, because he was a DNF in that first race. I don't know how far he got through it anyway. I think he was DNF towards the end, but Alex McEwen up to 3rd now. Gets the job done on Eli Jackson, I'm going to call him, because Elijah Jackson, I said it right then, but for the most part trips me up. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Newing's back out on track and is in full race mode at the moment. I don't know how much damage he took from that hit. I'm sure there's plenty, because it looked like he hit that wall with a fair bit of gusto. But oh look, Nick Mole's giving him a fair bit of something to think about anyway. There's no easy overtakes on this track. It doesn't matter who you are. Jackson and McFadden all watching the lead here. Ollie Longley's got 12 minutes to hold on. He's got Lucas Keys catching up at a bloody rate of knots at the moment. You can see on board here with Lucas Keys, he's come into this series and he's certainly made a statement last time around at Road America. It's not often you see new drivers come into the league and make an immediate impact. And I tell you what, today he's got 11 minutes to not only get the job done on Longley, which he's made up 7/10 just in that final sector. So I imagine this overtake is coming soon. But he's going to have a battle on his hands with Alex McEwen, I believe, at some point. But look at that. They're both pretty much locked in the same lap times. Alex McEwen sets the fastest lap of the race, mind you. So he is starting to get a move on. He knows the gravity of the situation, and he wants Ollie to really try and defend here and bring Lucas Keys back to him just a little bit. And if I know Longley, of course he's going to defend. He's going to defend. Look at this, straight onto the inside. Great defending here from Ollie Longley. There's a bit of a push and shove there. Bit of a return serve as well from Ollie. There's not much going to do to stop that as Keys now into the lead. But all that little battling there has brought McEwen within firing distance anyway. So there's about 1.1 seconds in between him and Keys now as it stands. It was about 2 point something at the start of the lap. So we're going to have a nice little battle here on our hands, I believe, for the last 10 minutes. Which is always good for the viewers at home. Mark Trenery and Matt Belton having a little go as well. Getting stuck in. And as soon as I say that, Mark Trenery goes off. Sorry about the commentator's curse, and sorry to everyone at home, but that will not be a battle for now. This is the one to watch. Alex McEwen up behind Ollie Longley. Will we see Ollie go defensive, or will he? He's got 9 minutes. Defending now is only going to bring Jackson back into the battle, and McFadden, and Reggie Righteous, and you might diminish your chances of a better result. There's no point battling Alex. I think that sort of... Oh no, Ollie. I think that battle's over, no matter which way you look at it. He's going to get a great run out of here, and I suspect maybe a little bit of a send into the hairpin. He's got the suck, as you can see. He might just pull out at the last minute and just send it up the inside. We will see. He doesn't. Ollie goes defensive. Meanwhile, Keys is extending that gap out ever so slightly. Alex will be getting a little bit frustrated, but I think he's done enough here. He's got the overlap and the inside run, so that is great driving there from Alex, just taking a little bit less exit room there and getting on the power nice and early, and that'll be a switch back into the second half of that chicane. This is great driving. Ollie gives him enough space. Very well done. I'd be getting out of it. See, look, all this battling has brought Jackson in, and now Jackson will be putting Oliver Longley under pressure as well once McEwen gets past. So this is a lesson for you guys out there. You got to pick your battles. So McEwen's always going to get past here, and had Ollie let him past at the start of this battle, he would have been about 2-3 seconds clear of Jackson. Now, as it stands, he's got Jackson right up his clacker, and he's going to be under pressure for the next 8 minutes from him as well. So we might see him dropping another position. Whereas if he'd listened to me, gave up that position, not give it up, but stay in the slipstream, pick your battles, and he would have had a 3-second head start on the car that's about to overtake him anyway. So, thanks for coming to my TED Talk on racing strategies and racecraft. As we can see, he's going to hang it around the outside, Elijah Jackson, and he's going to have the inside for the next turn. Now, I don't want to say I'm a genius. You guys can figure that out yourselves. Ooh. Ollie Longley drops down to 4th. Now, McEwen's got 3.5 seconds to make up in 7 minutes. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I think he needs more time. I think Keys owes Ollie Longley a beer after this race. We can check on their laps, because this last lap of Alex's was a 141 being held up, and a 139 for Keys, so that's 2 seconds advantage just from battling. And as we see now, McFadden is going to line up on Longley as well. Bit of swap for position here. Matt Belton up to 7th. Very good driving there from him. We saw a bit of a disaster with him in the last race. Him and Wells getting stuck into each other. Good and proper. We'll see Alex now back on pace with a 139.2, plays a 139.4, so only 2/10 in it. We're going to need a big mistake from Keys if he is going to lose the lead of this race. Well, if it's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Jason McFadden now looking at Mr. Longley. He's made up a fair bit of ground already. And there's only 2/10 in it now, so they're coming down the hill here into the little chicane, left-right. It's a tough little chicane, that, because you want to try and keep up as much momentum as you can in the second half to just sort of propel yourself over this sort of hill hump thing, come down into the second of these little chicanes. Great line there from Matt Belton, by the way. McFadden. Oh. Bit oversteer. They are front wheel drive, these cars, so you won't get too much snap oversteer, hopefully. Bit of an off there from Longley, so that's going to bring McFadden right up behind him again into the final braking zone. Not the official final turn of the lap, because that is this one here. Although I've always said it, I don't think turns should be counted as turns unless you have to use the brakes. McEwen's got that gap down to 3 seconds, but I think it's too little too late still. Any more gaps down the field? We've had a couple more retirements with Park and Pearce having enough for the night. Can't say I agree with all the DNFs tonight. If you come to race, you may as well do it. If you come here to get results, then you're in the wrong place, and you probably need to practice more. Because I'll tell you what, it's quite sweaty up the top here. Keys, McEwen, Reggie Righteous down in 6th. They're on the recovery drive after that disaster. Poor old Claypole losing it, and competition too good for you. At least you turn up, Jim. You turn up every week, and if you keep doing that, you will find yourself slowly going up and up the order every time. We're thinking about holding some driver training sessions as well in AK Racing. Coming up, if not this year, although we do still have a few months left in the year, it's something we want to try and do on the regular to keep everyone involved, to as we see a little overtake here from McFadden getting past Ollie Longley, just to keep the fields a bit tighter. Get some of the quicker guys to pass off some of the wisdom that they have learnt in their sim racing careers. I think we've had a few people put their hands up to want to help. So once we can organise all of that, we're going to try and get some driver training evenings happening on the regular, and that will be open to anyone to come and have a listen. And you never know, you might learn something, even if you think you know it all. There's always something to learn, I've noticed. Reggie up behind Longley is putting him under all sorts of pressure at the moment. Good little view there. We're going to see if he can gather it up and shoot it up the inside coming into this chicane. Maybe not have enough, there's probably not enough straight. And Ollie sees that there's only 2 minutes left on the clock. Reggie. Uncharacteristic punt there. He's done the right thing and let Longley through. Very uncharacteristic driving from Reggie Righteous tonight. I don't know how much practice he's done during the week. Maybe not enough. And that's case in point there. One of the best drivers on the grid, and maybe not up to scratch with his practice this week, and you can see the results speak for themselves. I know when I was racing the V8s, a lot of the guys would do hundreds and hundreds of laps practice, and it's really beneficial if you want results. You can't just expect to turn up and win, especially around here, as these guys really know what they're doing. Claypole got another lap to go. He's got Trenery in his sights. We're going to look where Keys is. He's coming around the first sector still. So this may be the last lap. We'll find out closer to the end. It's going to be tight, but Reggie and Longley at it again. Longley going defensive. Sort of. Just running him out of space. I'll tell you what, he can make this Audi TT as wide as a bloody Ford F-150 or, I don't know, what are those other things? A big Hummer truck. Big Humvee, American style. He can make that thing as wide as 3 of those bloody things. Reggie searching for a way through. There's really no way through for him. He's got 22 seconds to go. We're going to check in with Keys. I think this will be the final lap, so we'll keep an eye on this battle here. But we're going to have to start giving our man Lucas Keys a bit of a rap, because he's come into this league last week and he's obviously had a bit of pace. He's done a bit more practice during the week this time, I believe, and we've seen it all culminate tonight in an absolutely brilliant drive from him, coming from 9th place on the grid, and he will take out race 2 and his first victory in the Wednesday Cup. Lucas Keys, take a bow, my man. Alex McEwen coming across the line in 2nd place. He'll be disappointed with that. As you can see, runs that car straight through the hole in the fence. I'm sure he knew that was there as well. Eliza Jackson with his first podium of the season as well. Great drive from him. McFadden in the top 4. Watch out for this guy. I've said it 100 times. I'm going to say it again. Ollie Longley with his best result in a long time as well. Top 5 finish for him. Reggie Righteous stuck in the wall too. Look at that. Let's go over and have a geeze. Foot flat to the floor as well. He's got that back wheel spinning halfway up the chassis. Very cool indeed. Matt Belton, 7th finish again. Claypole was had plenty of pace last week. A bit lacking tonight, but we did see that big mistake from him early on in the race, so he might have finished a bit higher up. If not for that, Mark Trenery and Nick Mole make out your top 10. Luke Cass, sorry. Top 11. Arthur Liang, uncharacteristic down there in 12th position, as well as Luke Newing. But we know he'll be back and he'll be up there in quali next week. Don't you worry about that. Angus Wells finishes out the race. Well done. It's been a long time since we've seen Wellsy do the old DNF trick, so hats off to you. But Wells, you need to make sure you keep an eye on your car radar, because some of those battles between you and Belton were very questionable in that first race, and the stewards will be reviewing that after the race. Philippe Coates, welcome along to your first race in Wednesday Cup. It's good to have you here on the grid. The practice server is up during the week if you'd like to have a crack at that. Jim Park and Brandon Pierce are our DNFs for the night. Yeah, the elbows were certainly out, BZ, there for a lot of the time. I think it's one of those circuits that just sort of bring that on. Being such a skinny little track. Being such a skinny little circuit. Oh, geez, there goes that. So we're going to... I've made a mistake there. But that's okay. We'll bring out the standings. So we'll see what happens this week. But I think Alex McEwen will still be on top. Ryan Kennedy will drop down through the order. Lucas Keys will go up a little bit. And Reggie might stay where he is. But this week we will have the Aussie racing cars up on Sunday night. That will be coming from... Where are we racing from? Barbagallo this time. So a small little circuit there for the Aussie racing cars. Looking forward to that very much. So hopefully we will be... actually, we will not be... I will not be broadcasting that one, as my beloved Brisbane Broncos are in the grand final, so I will be in no shape to be to be broadcasting anything that night. Result dependent, obviously, but I mean, either way, not for me. But if you're keen to get involved and come and join in with the Aussie racing cars, all the details are in the Discord and the link is there as well. But I think that's enough for me for tonight. My voice is starting to go. I want to thank everyone for watching the stream and turning up, and all the drivers turning up every week. It makes it much easier for me to commentate on, and it makes it more enjoyable for the people watching at home. So, without further ado, I have been Chris Munro, your commentator for this evening, and I hope you all have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you next Wednesday with more Wednesday Cup, coming to you live from Japan, Fuji GP. I think that's going to be another good one. Until then, take care.